Hunt video. Welcome to Australian Mining for New Starters, and today we're going to do another job collection video for the underground training website. So we're going to type underground into Seek and we're going to have a look at what jobs come up. But before we do that, I just want to have a look at this blog that I wrote a couple of weeks ago about the 3 different types of people looking for a mining job. So don't be a rose-coloured glasses. The first type of person, they think that they know what the employer wants and they spend thousands on tickets and S11s and all that sort of stuff, and it just, unless you're going to go for coal in Queensland, it's just you might as well go and throw the money down the drain. None of the hard rock employers can use it, so it's only for coal mining in Queensland, those R2 tickets and S11. The next type of person is just get my foot in the door. The problem with just get my foot in the door is 95% of the people that, when you get your foot in the door, you get stuck in the job that you got your foot in the door with. It's very rarely do people make the jump from the job that they initially get their foot in the door with to a production mining job. The last type of person that I like to deal with is let's do some research. And I just want to cover some of the things that you should be asking yourself. So why do the job ads keep repeating themselves? Why are the jobs continually coming in? Why is there all the failure amongst the new starters? My mate says I need equipment tickets, but the job ad says I don't. And that's a common thing. Your mate probably doesn't know a lot about mining. They probably fall into the first category of the rose-coloured glasses where they think that they know about mining. How is automation affecting the industry? Iron ore and coal. It's ripping the heart out of the truck driving fleet. As far as people go, it's all autonomous in iron ore and coal in Queensland. A lot of the BHP, Mitsubishi Alliance sites, they're all going down that pathway as well. Where's the best long-term job? Some of these jobs that people jump into at the moment, they're only going to be in it for 5 minutes. I've been told that S11 is a national safety induction. It's not. None of the other areas of the industry ask for it. You just have to look at the job ads. Is there really an oversupply of surface truck drivers? Yes, because they've turned all the iron ore mines over here in WA driverless, so there's lots of experienced people running around. Is it worth getting your resume done, or can I do it myself? Yes, it can be worth getting your resume done, but like with what we do in the Intro to Underground Mining, the DIY package, there's full instructions on how to redo your resume in the back of there so you can save yourself some money and do it that way. What is the experience production mining employers want? How do I get it? The experience is knowing how the mine works. That's what they want. It's pretty easy to teach somebody how to drive a hard rock underground truck, but to teach them enough to leave them alone in that truck by themselves, that's what takes all the time. And so it looks like lots of people in the industry can't move into a full-time production job. Why? Well, we'll talk about that with just getting your foot in the door. People get pigeonholed. It's really easy to do. And don't I just have to get on site and go from there? No, it just doesn't work like that, unfortunately. I know there's a few, coal in Queensland. A lot of people start off as a PEGI, or they call it, so working utilities. That's only for coal in Queensland. All the hard rock mines around the country, you need to start in a production mining role. There are poaching rules that won't let you jump from one company to another on a majority of those sites around the country. So anyway, let's have a look at the jobs. So we typed underground into Seek and we'll grab some jobs. So that's coal. I don't put coal up because I really do feel that, you're getting yourself into only a short-term option if you go for coal. So raise bore offsider. Yeah, we'll have that one. So the raise bore is a big cutting disc that they drill down and they pull it back in the other direction, and they can create a huge hole up between levels. And it just depends on how big the raise bore machine is to how long they can pull that raise bore head back up. Some rigs, can be up to 1 kilometre or even more. Mine control operator. We'll grab that one. That's a bit different these days. Sometimes that's an entry-level role, sometimes that's an experience role. So we'll put that one down and you can apply and they can let you know. Surface diamond drilling operator. So let's look at that one. Copy and exploration. It's all good. Leading hand miner, Glencore, surfing Diamond Driller. I'll grab that one because that's from Melbourne. It's probably the same ad as the one that we've grabbed before, but we'll grab it just in case. It's a different area of the industry, or different part of the country that they're looking for. Oh, that's no good. We started on page 4. So I'm not going to cut the video, guys, because I've only got a small window to do it. Apologies for not doing this sooner. My eldest son graduated from high school this week, and it's just been chaos. We've had everybody come in from all around the country for it, and so I wasn't able to do a video. This is my first opportunity to do a video this week. So I'll grab that truck driving job down in Tasmania. So for all those that are down in Tasmania, they're looking for truck drivers. It all went very well. It was a great ceremony too. So we're all very happy with all that. So this is the Broken Hill job that they continue to advertise. So if you've watched any of the videos, you've seen me load this ad up a few times already. And they're just, like I said, constantly looking for people. Underground operator, service crew, mastermind, that's coal, underground paste crew. We'll have a go at that. Copy. I also did a video, which I'll just click over to, the rules of taking advice about a mining career. Just have a look at that, guys, because it just goes into, you really just got to find out where that person that's giving you the advice is from, because that gives you the context of the advice. Because a lot of people try and give advice about getting a production mining job, and they tell them to go and do everything to go and get a shutdown job, which is completely different. So that's an underground truck operator job for Goldfields. Barminco truck driving job. So with all these jobs, the majority of the companies, they're having to hire brand new starters because it just is what it is. They can't find experienced people. Barminco are also running ads for, if you've got for service crew, for people that are on Nipper and Nipper and Truck at the moment that want to jump up to service crew. So they're also running ads for that. So, why would you want to go on as a truck driver with Barminco when you could go on as service crew? And that's why, they're having to hire new starters for all the truck roles. They don't want to. Nobody wants to because it costs a fortune. It costs roughly 20 to 30 grand to train somebody up on a truck. By the time you onboard them and pay their wages for the first, month and 6 weeks it takes to get you up to speed, there's not a lot of change out of 20 or 30 grand, unfortunately. So that's one of the niche resources, labour hire companies. Like I said before, we don't post them up regularly because they advertise every day, basically. They're really easy to find, those job ads. Okay, Nipper's job. That's interesting. Underground drill fitters and offsiders. It's coal, service crew, fitters, charge up operators, leading hand service crew, production operators, service crew, projects. So projects. Look at 3. We can skip 4 because we did that first. Another truck operator job for Shutters Towers in Queensland. I've got a bit of an update too about the backpacker video that I put out. Some people have sent me some information from the actual Australian website that covers the backpackers, and just what we need to understand is, well, fortunately the boss has got a contact in the minister's office over here, so he's going to try and clarify what's going on with it all, because it's not very clear. They've only changed the information on the actual backpackers page. They haven't changed any of the information on the actual employers page from the Australian government. And on the backpackers page, it says it's only temporary and it's only to the end of this year. Now, what we're trying to find out is whether they're going to extend that out or whether they're going to cut it off or what they're going to do. Because, yeah, if they're going to cut it off on the 31st of December and they're going to put it back to the way it was, then there's not much point. But if they're going to run it for another 12 months, then, yeah, there's lots of good opportunity. And I've just realised that I've just gone straight on to page 4 again without thinking about it. So I will continue on to page 5. So it's a leading hand service crew. Control. Under gets coal, shift boss, surface diamond driller, loader operator, deputy, trainer assessor. Page number 6. Shotcrete supervisor. Underground manager. Jumbo Offsider Operator. I actually had a look at this when it first came up. They're actually looking for somebody that's got bogger and charge up skills that can learn how to use the jumbo. So that's a bit misleading when they say Jumbo Offsider, because often when people think Jumbo Offsider, they think nipper. But what they actually want is they want somebody to train up on the jumbo that's got a lot of experience and that's looking for that next step. Mining superintendent. Apprentice underground fitters. Training assessing. Mine pro surface. Drill assistant per. Again, I will put this one in because this is on the other side of the country than the other ones that we loaded up before. And often what happens is that they've got multiple rigs all around the country. Like these guys would have almost 100 rigs, if not more, around the country. So it might not, all the ads might not lead to the same place. They might be different areas of the country, different machines, different sections. So that's why I like to look at all the job ads and not just assume that it's the same job ad over and over again. Diamond Drillers and Offsiders. We'll grab that one as well. Put that in the surface column. So if you're trying to get a job in the industry, just make sure you do your research and you know what you're jumping yourself into. Because some of these jobs, if you're really not sure what's going on, you know, you might only be in it for 5 minutes. And that's an issue. But if you educate yourself to know what's happening with what's going on in the industry, then you can set yourself up for success and not failure. Mining control room operator. We'll grab that one. Again, you know, sometimes that is entry level where they start you off. Sometimes they want somebody with a bit of experience for those jobs. It just varies. So I like to put it down, and there's no harm in applying. all they can do is say no, and you might get a surprise and they might say yes. So it's always, like they say, you've got to be in it to win it. So Offsider, skill force, copy, and we'll put that in the exploration, planning engineer, fitters, engineers, workshop fitters. So we will have a look at that. Apprenticeship, MMG, and traineeship program. Process operator. Okay, so that's one that you could put in. That looks like it's an ad for the people on the mill. So they're for mill jobs. So I'll put that down under the mill jobs when we post it. That's in Queensland. Hose specialist, mining engineer, mine manager, underground geologist, diesel fitter, mine control dispatch, store person, deep core drilling, drillers offsiders, labourers. That's for an underground job. They're ramping up their drill programs in Victoria, trying to prove up the ore bodies below them so they can ramp up their production like everybody is around the country. Raise bore drillers and offsiders. We'll put that down as well for the offsiders job. It's a pretty specialised thing jumping into the raise bore side of the industry, but a raise bore driller, you'll make $1,000 a day or around that as a driller, depending on how much experience you've got, of course. And the offsiders will make, between $500 and $600 a day, depending on which company you're working for. Field service, entry level. Code examiner. We're almost up to 18 minutes now, guys. Just had a quick look at the timer. Gold room operator. I want an experienced person for that, but that's on the mill. But they might not be able to get it, so I'm going to put that down so people can apply. Again, a lot of these companies, they want experienced people, but chances are that they're not going to get them, so they're going to have to hire somebody and put them on and train them up themselves. Leading hand fitter, process operator, processing South 32. We'll grab that. Put that in the mill jobs. Just be aware that South 32, apparently in their Queensland mine there, they're going from not using the shaft anymore to a haulage system. So often I've been told that they've got a bit of an open ad going for truck drivers at the moment. So keep your eye on for that. Sometimes it pays just to go directly to the employer's website and see what they've got going on. Magazine keeper, Glencore. I want somebody with experience for that. Oil truck operator, surface, business improvement, headcore drilling, HD fitters. Alright, we'll give it one more page and then we'll have a look at where the jobs are on our map. Drillers Offsiders. So I'll grab that one. That's in exploration. I'll just save that so we don't lose that. We'll go back. Entry level store person, Barminco. Broome, Kimberley area. That's Savannah's nickel mine. I'll put that in. Where am I going to put that? I'll put that under the mill jobs. Because it's not exactly underground, it's on the surface. Doors Offsiders, Brisbane. I'll grab that one as well. So we found quite a few underground jobs and quite a few driller offsider jobs at the moment, so that's pretty good. Haven't found any graduate engineering jobs at the moment, but I'm sure they'll come up. We'll do one more. Vocational students, mining maintenance. That's coal, we won't worry about that one. Surface offsiders. Principal mining engineer, deep water field system services. Right-hand loader. Okay, so we'll leave it there and we'll go over and we'll have a look at our map. So this is the map with all the mines around Australia that are gold and producing all the minerals that are going into the batteries that are going to power everything. And there's about, well, there isn't about this, from what I read, there's 12 specific minerals and metals that go into these batteries, and we've got all 12 of them, and this is where they all are. So if you're in Tasmania, as we saw today, there's truck driving jobs going down there in Tasmania. There's lots of offsider jobs going down in Tasmania. There's a fair bit of work down there, and there's a couple of big underground mines that are kicking back off again. There's a tungsten mine on King Island that's supposed to start up in the next couple of months, and there's a few more down there that are going to kick off. Forestville, as we've already looked at, one of the ads was for Forestville in Victoria. They're for drillers offsiders, but there's only a few mines in Victoria, unfortunately. So if you're in Melbourne, you need to have a look at all this stuff up here in the middle of New South Wales. And if you're down in Canberra, you've got one that's just outside of Canberra, but all this is all drive in, drive out. And the same as if you're in Sydney, you drive out, do your 2 weeks, and then come back and have your week off or your 2 weeks off, whichever roster that you're doing. Or some of the mines are week on, week off. I'd prefer 2 and 2. Most of them are going to 2 and 2, just because people like to have their 2 weeks off. So you can also drive. A lot of people base themselves in the Gold Coast or Sunshine Coast, and they drive down to these jobs down here and then drive back again. If you're in Brisbane, then you've obviously got all the fly and fly out that's up around Charters Towers and Mount Isa. The fly and fly out for those jobs is also in and out of Townsville and Cairns. In South Australia, you've got All Oz Mineral Stuff, so Prominent Hill and all their other underground mines that go with that. And then you've got Olympic Dam, which is a huge employer who are always looking for people. Up in the Northern Territory, if you're in Darwin, you've got Savannah's, which is a big nickel mine that they're ramping back up again. They need lots of people for that one. And they also have Newmont's big mine in the centre of Australia called Tanamide, which I just almost forgot about just then. So they're always looking for people. Tanamide flies out of Perth, Brisbane, and Darwin. So, and Alice Springs as well. They take people up. But if you really want a job, WA is probably the best place to be. While there's lots of jobs in Queensland and New South Wales, over here in WA, there's lots in fly and fly out of Perth. But if you really want to walk into a job, sort of in 2 weeks' time, then my suggestion is to do the sponsors training. The DIY package teaches you everything the employer wants you to know. There's 50 hours worth of information. There's 4 courses in a seminar. There's full resume instructions in the back of the seminar, interview prep. And once you get yourself your mining knowledge up to speed, and you make sure you've got a manual car license, head to Kalgoorlie. That's the place to be. There's probably 50 mines within 100 k's of the joint that are all screaming for people. So the majority of people that do the sponsors training, that have understood it and can hold the mining conversation, that go to Kalgoorlie, get a couple of job offers in the first week that they're there. So that's the way I would go with it all. And that's our job hunt video for this week. Again, sorry for not being able to do a couple of them. Like I said, my eldest son graduated from high school. It was all really good, but it just meant that I just couldn't get anything done till today. So I hope that video helps, and if you've got any questions, please let me know. If you could like and subscribe to the channel, and please share the information around. Thanks.